Hello everyone, so Falcon and the Winter Soldier debuted today on Disney+. So of course, if you have your subscription, you can check out the first episode of the series. It's going to be 6 episodes long. The first episode clocks in at just under 50 minutes, but more like 45 with all the credits at the end of the season. But this is going to tell the story of how Falcon and the Winter Soldier both deal with life after the blip, life after Endgame, and how they come together to form a dynamic duo to take on what seems like it's going to be many crime organizations together. So without further ado, here is my review and just a little bit of a discussion. For the first episode, there is going to be spoilers, so you have been warned in the title and of course right here. So if you don't want spoilers, go check it out, come back here, but let's get into it. So as I mentioned, a lot is kind of dealt in this first episode about both Bucky's and Sam's life after Endgame, after the blip, and just the effects of everything and everyone coming back and how it's affected their personal lives. We do get a lot of really good commentary about PTSD, nightmares, especially wartime PTSD from Bucky, and just how he's been jumping from war to war since the 1940s and he hasn't had time to really be able to work on himself. We find that he has like a hit list of old Hydra agents and just anyone who basically took his life away from him, and he's tracking these people down for what he thinks is going to bring him closure. And we have Sam on the other hand, who's working government contracts where he's sent on some pretty awesome missions. I'll get into how much I loved the first scene we see with him in a little bit here, but we do find that he's having bank troubles right now where his sister has a business that's been going under for about 5 years and he's trying to help her out. But even though he's a superhero, banks have been really tough on people, saying you have no income for 5 years, even though he was blipped away, and we can't do anything to help you. And it's just really affecting his family and personal life. And we know that this is the way for a lot of people, where rules are just being made on the spot, it seems like, due to the terms of the blip. So I love how they're really starting to shape their own world in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's kind of separate from it being within our world. Like, it's really cool and there's so much they could do with it while still bringing parallels to really big societal factors, which I said they did a really good job in this first episode, and I really enjoyed that. It was well put together and well done. Like I said, Bucky's story in this is really well put together too, where he's dealing with a lot of trauma. He's befriended this old Chinese man who he's become really good friends with. They go out to lunch all the time, and we find out this is because he's trying to get a little bit of closure, because when he was brainwashed and manipulated as the Winter Soldier, he ended up killing this man's son. You can tell there's a lot of grief there, and he's trying to help close some sort of bonds, but he's having a really tough time knowing that he did something terrible. He took the biggest part away from this man's life from him. And there was really good commentary too. I liked how there's one scene where Bucky's talking to a girl that this old man kind of set him up on a date with, and she says that she feels sorry for him because there's words for widows who lose their husbands and orphans who lose their parents, but there's no term for parents who lose their kids. It's just empty and undefined and scary, and that's because it's one of the worst things that can happen to you. And I like that commentary of it. Like I said, it's doing a really good job talking about PTSD and grief and all these things, whether it be just in terms of loss or in terms of the blip and not being able to get a foothold for yourself when you were gone for 5 years. The world has so drastically changed, and now no one is trying to help. It's just they're trying to secure themselves and shut everyone out in terms of, like I said, banks handing out loans for finances and a whole bunch of things like that. So like I said, it's starting to create its own world in this sense, but at the same time, keeping a lot of societal factors, messages, and problems in its storytelling. And they're doing a fantastic job of it, especially in this first episode. And now I'm going to talk about the action that we get to see, and it is really, really cool. Especially the first scene that we get, or I should say the opening scene with Falcon, and surprise, I was so happy to see him, but George St. Pierre is back as Beltrock in the beginning of this episode. They've kidnapped a US pilot and they're trying to get him into into Libyan airspace so that the US government can't go in there and track him down, so they could, I'm guessing, to interrogate this guy and get information out of him. But an amazing scene where Falcon's going after these guys as they're jumping out and shooting at him in wingsuits. It's really, really cool and just so well put together. They're going through canyons. There's helicopters involved that are shooting at Falcon as he's maneuvering, and so many cool scenes. He basically like attaches a whip on one of the helicopter gunners and pulls him out, hits him to the side of the rocks. You got Red Wing, who does a lot of really cool things in this too. He's taking out helicopters, and it's just an amazing high energy scene that is bolstered by a really awesome soundtrack. All the music in this first episode was really, really well done and put together. And then, yes, we have a new terrorist villain organization who a member of the military who Sam's friend is going after, and they have some pretty wicked powers, or at least really big influence over the people and their organization, or sorry, just people and what their organization is trying to do. They rob a bank, and we find out that one of these people has superhuman abilities. He's kicking people and sending them flying just like Captain America would, where they're strong. They're very, very strong, and we don't know quite their motivation yet, but we know that they have a lot of reach, and it's something that the military is scared of, and it's going to incorporate Sam here right away, and eventually Bucky's going to come in, but we don't know how that's going to happen yet. So for the entire episode, Bucky and Sam are separate. We do find out during one of Bucky's therapy sessions that Sam has been trying to reach out to him, but Bucky's been ghosting or just completely ignoring all of these texts and phone calls, so they don't have the connection yet. But at the end of the episode, something very big happens, which I'll get into, but I think this is what's going to start having Bucky reach out to Sam, and this is when they're going to form their team. By the end of next episode, I feel like they will be together, and then episodes 3 to 6 are going to be them going on the missions, and it's going to really kick off into what all this plan is. We don't see Zemo in this episode either. We don't see Sharon Carter, but we do get our first look at the new Captain America, or as we in the comics know him, John Walker, U.S. agents. So the U.S. government goes on a live broadcast saying that these are new times, so we need a new hero who's going to fit into the era, but yet they take an old basically relic from the past, and they introduce a brand new Captain America. And we don't get to hear him say anything. We just see him in a retro stylized Captain America outfit. But John Walker comes out. He has the shield, which Sam gave to the US government to basically be stored in the Captain America Museum. But nope, he has the shield. He's decked out in the full gear, and he is Captain America, which I'm surprised, like I said, they're really going for that right now, especially they said it's only a couple months after Endgame, and there's already a brand new Captain America. It feels very cheap on the US government, and you can tell this moment really hit Sam hard. We don't see Bucky's reaction to it, but like I said, in the next episode, I think we're going to get that. There's a lot of commentary, too, about how right now Chris Evans is never going to reprise his role as Steve Rogers in the MCU, but I think it'd be really cool if somewhere in this series, while Sam is conflicted about who should take up the mantle of Captain America, if there even should be a new Captain America, that old man Steve would make his way back into the show. And I think that'd be a really cool little cameo if, kind of during a time of reflection, we got to see Sam and Bucky go visit Cap one more time. It would be very, very nice to see those two be able to reconnect and talk about heroism and if he's ready for the mantle. Maybe at the end of the series we'll get to see that, but I think that'd be a really cool conversation to have between them, because like I said, we don't get to know who John Walker is yet in the show, but I'm sure next episode and further down in the series we're really going to have all that flushed out into who he is. Does he really think he has what it takes to be Captain America and represent the people in the way that Steve was able to, or if he's just using a name for people to relate to, but he's going to be something completely on the opposite side of the spectrum, kind of like what US Agents was in the comics. But yeah, kind of with all this taken together and what it's set up, even though it doesn't feel like Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet from this first episode, it's building towards something that I think is going to be really, really fun, entertaining, and has more commentary on a lot of the world and the universe than I thought it was going to, which gets me very excited. So yeah, like I said, with all this taken together, I'm going to give the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier a 9 out of 10, and I'm really excited to see what they're able to bring into the show in the future. So in the comments, please let me know what you thought about the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, what you like, and of course, where you think the show is going to go from here. Don't disappoint yourself like a lot of us did with Wandavision, coming up with these crazy fan theories and stuff like that. But of course, if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up and check out all my other TV reviews, movie reviews, everything I do on this channel through my playlist down below, and I also link up a playlist right up top here. You can also check out everything that I do on Twitch, and if you want to be part of the Media Mountain, you can join my Discord and put all your thoughts and everything that you love into the Discord and create a community based around all the things that we love, from TV, movies, comics, everything together in there. That's also linked down in the description down below in this video. And if you like what you see here, of course, subscribe, turn a little ringer on if you want to know when I upload new videos. But yes, about 45 minutes of your time, go check out Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, and awesome, guys.